Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriya. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 7, the sacrifice performed by Daksha, text number 32 onwards. So all the assembled sages, demigods, everybody is offering their prayers to the Supreme Lord in that arena of sacrifice. So text 32. Indra vacha idam api achyutta vishva bhavanam papurananda karam manodrisham Suravid vit kshapranar yudayudher bhujadandar upapannam ashtabhihi. King Indra said, My dear Lord, your transcendental form with 8 hands and weapons in each of them appears for the welfare of the entire universe, and it's very pleasing to the mind and the eyes. In such a form, your lordship is always prepared to punish the demons who are envious of your devotees. It is generally understood from revealed scriptures that Lord Vishnu appears with 4 hands. But in this particular sacrificial arena, Lord Vishnu arrived with 8 hands. King Indra said, even though we are accustomed to see your 4-handed Vishnu form, this appearance with 8 hands is as real as a 4-handed form. As Lord Brahma had said, to realize the transcendental form of the Lord is beyond the power of the senses. In reply to that statement by Brahma, King Indra said, even though the transcendental form of the Lord is not perceivable by the material senses, his activities and his transcendental form can be understood. Lord's uncommon features, uncommon activities, and uncommon beauty can be perceived even by an ordinary man. For example, when Lord Krishna appeared just like a 6 or 7-year-old boy in Vrindavan, he was approached by the residents there. There were torrents of rain, and the Lord saved the residents of Vrindavan by lifting Govardhan hill and resting it on the little finger of his left hand for 7 days. This uncommon feature of the Lord should convince even materialistic persons who want to speculate to the limit of the material senses. The activities of the Lord are so pleasing to experimental vision also, but impersonalists will not believe in his identity because they study the personality of the Lord by comparing their personality to his. So, materialistic men, they will not understand Lord's form or Lord's activities because they think if they cannot do it, Lord cannot do it. Just like Prabhupada gives the example of Krishna lifting the Govardhan hill in Vrindavan on the little finger of his left hand for 7 days. Everybody knows about this pastime. But those who do not want to believe it, those who have no faith, they will never believe in it. They'll say, nah, it's just folklore or it's just mythology. Just to make Krishna God. But he wasn't God. So this is what King Indra is saying. Your transcendental form with 8 hands and weapons in each of them appears for the welfare of the entire universe. And it's very pleasing to the mind and the eyes. Of course, for devotees, it's very pleasing. But for demons, they really get terrified by looking at this form of the they accept, because men in this material world cannot lift a hill. They do not believe that the Lord can lift one. They accept the statements of Srimad Bhagavatam to be allegorical, and they try to interpret them in their own way. But factually, the Lord lifted the hill in the presence of all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, as corroborated by great acharyas and authors like Vyasadeva and Narad. Everything about the Lord, his pastimes, his activities, and uncommon features should be accepted as is. And in this way, even in our present condition, we can understand the Lord. In the instance herein, Lord Indra confirmed, your presence with 8 hands is as good as your presence with 4 hands. There is no doubt about it. So if we just accept the scriptures, then we can understand the Lord to whatever extent the Lord wants us to understand. We can start begin our understanding, and He can reveal Himself to us. But those who don't have faith, those who don't want to accept the scriptures, then Krishna Himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Asharadhana Parasha Dharmasya Yasa Parantam. Means those who don't have faith in me, in the scriptures, then they continue with their cycle of birth, death, old age, disease, and again the birth, death, old age, disease. But the demigods, look at Indra, Brahma, Shiva, Daksha, Bhrigu Muni, other Brahmins, and the Ritvik priests, everybody has glorified the Lord and has prayed to the Lord. This is the difference between demigods and demons. Demons will never ever believe that there is Supreme Lord, or even if the Supreme Lord is right in front of them, they will not think He is the Supreme Lord. They'll think He is just an imposter. Just like Ram went to Lanka with all the monkey army, and Ravan was still not able to understand that He is the Supreme Lord. He would always say, oh, they are just two common human beings, Ram and Lakshmana. So just roaming around and crying because I have stolen Ram's wife and he cannot take her back from me. So he's crying, and look, he's taken help of monkeys. What are the monkeys going to do? How are they going to fight with me? So the demons, they just don't want to believe in the Supreme Lord. So this is same philosophy even today. Of course, we are not as big as demons as Ravan, but they're small demons. And they will not believe in God. They believe in their own work, hard work. And that is actually demonic mentality. They'll believe in the workings of their mind, and they say, with our mind, I can devise so many means to make money, to cling on to power and this or that, or I'll become immortal, I'll try to make some scientific discoveries and I'll try to become immortal. No such thing is going to happen. That's what Prabhupada used to call it. It is all phantasmagoria, flower in the sky. There is no such thing as flower in the sky. And there is no such thing as becoming immortal. Even Brahmaji is not immortal. What to speak of tiny little jivas of this Kali Yuga. All we have to do is, whatever life we have, we should try to use it properly. That's all. Not try to use it to become immortal. In this material world, we can become immortal if we transfer ourselves to the spiritual world. Text 33. Patni ochu yagyoyam tav yajnaya ken srishtu vidhvasta pashupatinadya dashkopatha tamnastvam shavashayana bhashandamedham yagyatman linrucha drisha punihi. The wives of the performers of the sacrifice said, My dear Lord, this sacrifice was arranged under the instruction of Brahma. But unfortunately, Lord Shiva, being angry at Daksha, devastated the entire scene. And because of his anger, the animals meant for sacrifice are lying dead. Therefore, the preparations of the yajna have been lost. Now, by the glance of Helota's eyes, the sanctity of this sacrificial arena may be again invoked. Animals were offered in sacrifice in order to give them renewed life. That was the purpose of having animals there. Offering an animal in sacrifice and giving him renewed life was the evidence of the strength of chanting mantras. Unfortunately, when Daksha's sacrifice was devastated by Lord Shiva, some of the animals were killed. One was killed just to replace the head of Daksha, so that goat was killed like that. The bodies were lying about and the sacrificial arena was turned into a crematorium. Thus, the real purpose of yajna was lost. So, well, apparently the real purpose of yajna was lost, but Lord Vishnu was pleased by this yajna and he appeared. Otherwise, he wouldn't have appeared if he wasn't pleased. So apparently, the yajna was performed properly. The only thing that those animals who were killed, they were supposed to get a new body, either human or a young animal body. They didn't get that. So that way they are saying, the wives of the priests are saying, the real purpose of yajna was lost. Lord Vishnu, being the ultimate objective of such sacrificial ceremonies, was requested by the wives of the priests to glance over the yajna arena with his causeless mercy so that the routine work of the yajna might be continued. The purpose here is that animals should not be unnecessarily killed. They were used to prove the strength of the mantras and were to have been rejuvenated by the use of the mantras. They should not have been killed as they were by Lord Shiva to replace the head of Daksha with an animal's head. It was pleasing to see an animal sacrificed and rejuvenated, and that pleasing atmosphere had been lost. The wives of the priests requested that the animals be brought back to life by the glance of Lord Vishnu to make a pleasing yajna. So again, the animals were not just supposed to be killed unnecessarily in the yajna, and definitely not for the Brahmins to eat the flesh of the animals. In fact, this is what started happening in Kali Yuga, towards the beginning of Kali Yuga. So Brahmins were performing yajna and they were eating the flesh of the animals. And that is when Lord Buddha appeared, because of his compassion towards the animals. And he wanted to stop this unnecessarily and merciless animal killing, wholesale animal killing. And that is why he preached the philosophy of ahimsa param dharma. So it was very important at that time for Lord Buddha, Lord Krishna, to appear as Lord Buddha. Of course, the philosophy that Lord Buddha gave, it was, actually he said was, if animal sacrifice is mentioned in the Vedas, don't believe the Vedas. See, the things were getting even bad, even in the beginning of Kali Yuga. That the Brahmins were misinterpreting the Vedas. The one misinterpretation was this thing, that the animal sacrifice can be done and then the Brahmins can eat the flesh. And second thing that had started was, of course, to stop that, Buddha appeared. And second thing that was started was, a Brahman son will automatically become a Brahman. So Varnashram system was getting lost. And to give the real knowledge of the Vedas and the scriptures, first Lord Shankaracharya came, and then the four Vaishnavacharyas came. They spread the Vaishnavism all over India at least. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. He gave the philosophy of Achinta Bheda Tattva, then his followers. And then main revival was done by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, and then Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada took it all over the world. Took the knowledge of Vedas, took the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, spread the message of Mahaprabhu all over the world. And now Prabhupada's followers are trying to do the same. So this knowledge, proper knowledge of Vedas is very, very important. And when the Brahmins stopped following the Vedas and they started giving their own interpretation for their own well-being or own comfortable life, actually that is when the foreign invaders started coming to India and they took over. First the Muslims and then the British. See, if the proper teachings of Vedas was followed, then the Lord himself protects his followers. Dharma rakshati rakshita, it is said. If one follows Dharma, Dharma protects that person. But somehow Kali Yuga, it's all happens in Kali Yuga. People just lost it completely. And then all the nonsense had to happen. Even when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared about 500 some years ago, it was a Mughal rule at that time on India. And Mahaprabhu established the Vedas properly, the teachings properly, the Sankirtan Yajna properly. And at that time, that was considered as a bhakti movement in India. At the same time, and Guru Nanak Dev appeared, Mirabai appeared, Tulsi Das, and or similar time, Kabir Das, Sur Das, Vallabhacharya appeared. So they all, around the same time, this all happened in India, although India was in Mughal rule, under Mughal rule at that time. And the teachings and the movement revived. I mean, it thrived all over India. But again, it went down because people were not following properly. 6 Goswamis preached afterwards. After that, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and others, Baldev Vidyabhushan, Vishwanath Chaturvedi Thakur, then Baldev Vidyabhushan, then Narottam Das Thakur was before that. And then after Baldev Vidyabhushan, there was a complete lull, hardly anything happening, except some up-sampradayas who were just making up their own system of Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan. So until Bhakti Vinod Thakur came, Bhakti Vinod Thakur really revived the movement, really established the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that was British time. And then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur came. He was a son of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He really established Gaudiya Math, 64 Gaudiya Maths all over India at that time. It was something around 1874 or so he appeared. And then in 1896, Srila Prabhupada appeared. And by that time, Prabhupada started preaching. India was independent. Of course, independent of foreign rulers, but still being ruled over by atheistic class or whatever we want to call them. I don't want to get into politics, but not ruled over by devotional rulers. So if people follow the rule, the dharmic rule, the rules of dharma, and lead their lives accordingly, Krishna will make the arrangement to send a ruler who's of the same disposition. He will make the arrangement. Why won't he make the arrangement? It's the people, they have to be properly placed. Their consciousness has to be properly situated. Then Krishna will make the arrangement. That is guaranteed. See here, although sacrifice was completely spoiled, but the wives of the Brahman, they're praying to Krishna, to Vishnu, please fix up the whole yagya. Please let the animals be brought back to life by the glance of Lord Vishnu. And he can do that. What's so difficult about it? Till Daksha and everybody involved, they committed offense against Lord Shiva. Everything was destroyed. And when Lord Shiva was pleased, and Lord Shiva had his mercy on Daksha and everybody else, and he gave Daksha the life back, although he gave him the head of a goat. But everybody understood they made a mistake. They asked for forgiveness, and Lord Shiva forgave. Lord Vishnu appeared right away. With one offering by Daksha, Lord Vishnu appeared. And where Lord Vishnu has appeared himself, what's so difficult for him to make the whole yagya proper again? It's not at all difficult. So if we become Krishna conscious, even only a fraction of percentage of the whole population, even Prabhupada said it's not possible to make everybody Krishna conscious. Just a fraction of a percentage. Krishna, through his holy name, can make the whole world an auspicious place. Prabhupada himself said that this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, and it will grow all over the world in every town and village. It is mentioned in the scriptures. Next 10,000 years, of course, from when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, so 500 we can deduct. So 9,500 years, the movement will grow all over the world. Why will the movement grow all over the world? Not just because Mahaprabhu wants it, or because one country will have the proper devotional ruler. It will happen all over the world because the population will be like that, and Krishna will make arrangement for a ruler to be like that. So all we have to do is do our part of becoming a devotee, proper devotee. Everything will fall into place. Prabhupada himself said, this Krishna consciousness movement will go down on the pages of history as the moment that saved the whole world in its darkest hour. I don't know when the darkest hour is going to happen. I don't know how the movement is going to save the world. But if Prabhupada has written that, it is bound to happen. And there are many more things he said and he wrote. So point is, we have to become devotees, proper, sincere, determined devotees. And then Krishna will make all the arrangements. Just like Jagannath ji. I mean, of course, Jagannath Puri, everybody is a devotee of Jagannath. Everybody loves Jagannath. They love him to death. And when they all prayed fervently, they were thinking the Rath Yatra might not happen. All of a sudden, it happened. Everything, all the permissions were given, and Jagannath is back. Although he's standing outside Shri Mandir right now, but he's back. Even the Ulti Rath Yatra happened. And other day we were discussing on the Shayan Ekadashi. Some say it's on Thursday, some say it's on Wednesday, whatever the calendar said, you follow that, that's fine. Shayan Ekadashi is when Lord Vishnu, or Kshirodaksha Vishnu, and all the demigods, they go to sleep, because our 6 months is equal to their 12 hours. So this is the not full 6 months they sleep. There's 4 months, Chaturmasya is when they sleep. So 4 months, 4 hours they sleep. But the point is, they don't really sleep on Shayan Ekadashi day. But they will sleep tonight in India, in India's time, Thursday night. Why? Because this is the day, tonight is when Adharpana will be offered to Lord Jagannath. And because all the demigods come to attend Rath Yatra ceremony, and this Adharpana, as I explained it earlier day, sometime earlier, Adharpana is offered on all the 3 chariots as a huge pot, very tall, very long pot. And then they break, the pandas, they break the pot and let all the ingredients, it has lots of liquid is there, chena is there, other auspicious items are there, edibles. And the thing just spills on the ground below the chariot. It goes through the planks of wood and flows on the ground. So it is said that nobody should pick up from the ground, because that is offered to not the demigods, even the ghosts, goblins, they all come to attend Jagannath's Rath Yatra. So it's for everybody, all those entities. So they come, they take their share. So after this, the demigods go to sleep. So they're not going to go to sleep empty stomach. So all their stomach is full after having wonderful Jagannath Prashadam. And then they go to sleep. So that ceremony you can all watch on the internet today in the evening. This will happen. And tomorrow, so it's already Friday today. So Saturday is when Jagannath Ji will go inside the temple. And Lakshmi Ji will try to stop him. And beautiful, beautiful ceremony, beautiful pastime. So we'll stop here. See anybody, any questions or comments? Okay, so you all have a wonderful and safe day. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare